In World of Warcraft, the Mage is the ultimate glass cannon, a spell-slinging powerhouse who brings explosive burst damage and area effect spells that will fill the battlefield. Whether it's raining fireballs, freezing enemy in place, or bending the fabrics of arcane magic, mages are all about control, style and spectacle. But it's not just about damage. Mages also bring some really cool utility, conjuring food and drinks, teleporting around the world and opening portals for your group. No one throws a party like a mage, or leaves one faster. They come in 3 specializations: Arcane, Fire and Frost, each with a distinct identity and playstyle. If you love the idea of juggling insane burst damage, with a lot of instacast abilities and choosing between 3 magic flavors and looking incredible while doing it, Mage might just be your perfect fit. Visually, they're absolutely S tier and easily one of the most versatile ranged DPS classes in the game. But they're not called glass cannons for nothing. With that high burst also comes your cloth armor that isn't made for face tanking mobs. You can be squishy, but have plenty tools to stay alive. Cool spells like Alter Time can save your life if you know how to anticipate incoming damage. Okay, let's talk about how tier set bonuses will define your mage spec. They have a good impact and they can change the way your spec feels in the next patch. In Season 3, mages are getting some really cool ones. What's especially cool this time around is that your tier set changes depending on which hero talent tree you're choosing. So not only are you getting powerful bonuses, you're also getting variety. It adds some choice to the mage class and gives you plenty of options to pick the playstyle that fits you the best. Frostfire tier set. This one's for both Frost and Fire mages. The 2 set gives a flat damage increase on the following spells: Meteor, your Frostfire Burst and Frostfire Bolt. And these spells now apply Ignite, which if you didn't know, is Fire Mage's mastery. It's a damage over time effect that burns the target for 9 seconds, and you can spread it to 3 targets by using Fire Blasts. It's such a cool crossover to see Frost mages getting the synergy baked into their playstyle. The 4 set. As Frost, when you build up icicles and cast Glacial Spike, it also triggers a Pyroblast. And yes, that Pyroblast damage will feed into the Ignite. And as Fire, when you cast Pyroblast, you'll gain a Glacial Spike. I just love how this Frostfire shizzle is going back and forth. Spellslinger tier set. This one is for Frost mages and Arcane getting its version 2. 2 set. Your Icicle Splinters can now give you additional stacks of Cold Front. When Cold Front reaches 30 stacks, it summons a free Frozen Orb. So basically, faster, more frequent orbs. Your 4 set, your Frozen Orbs now also grant stacks, and when you summon one, you deal 10% more damage for a short period of time. It's a strong bonus on a mechanic that you're now triggering more often. For Arcane mages, the same tier set boosts your Arcane Blast damage by 20%, and your Splinters grant stacks of Arcane Harmony, a buff that makes your Arcane Barrages hit harder the more Arcane Missiles you fired, stacking up to 20 times. The 4 set increases your Splinter damage by 8%, and your Arcane Orb can build up to 8 stacks of Arcane Harmony. When you max out, you gain Intuition, a buff where your spells have a chance to supercharge your Arcane Barrages, making it deal 50% more damage and refund 4 Arcane charges. Sun Fury tier set. This one's designed for Fire mages and for Arcane mages. For Arcane, it behaves the exact same way it does as for Fire. 2 set. You'll get these fairy Spellfire spheres cycling around you, boosting your damage. And every time you spend hot streaks, you'll get a stacking haste buff from Mana Cascade. It's a strong, reliable boost at just the right moments. The 4 set, when you summon Phoenix adds, their casts will increase Hyperthermia. That's a talent making your Pyroblast and Flame Strike instant during certain windows outside of combustion. It also makes those spells hit 15% harder while active. Then, when those Phoenixes vanish, you'll get a mini Time Warp effect and a 10-second spell damage buff. So yeah, these tier set bonuses don't just give you a flat out damage increase, but they also actively change how your rotation flows, what spells you prioritize and what moments you play around. And that's what makes a good tier set great. It adds a new layer of complexity to your gameplay without it feeling forced. Performance. The Mage is a pure DPS class. They have one job and they tend to do it extremely well. But I'll be honest with you, Mage is not the easiest class to master. That said, don't let that scare you off. The learning curve is part of the fun. And with 3 distinct specs to choose from, there's a very good chance that one will click with your playstyle. Whether you're a beginner or a seasoned player looking for a new challenge, Mage offers plenty of depth, flexibility and reward. Now where were we? Oh yeah, performance. This season, Mage performance has been nothing short of impressive. Honestly, it's hard to think of a season where mages haven't had a place in the spotlight. While it's often just one spec that rises above the rest, I mean, who are we kidding? We all know some of the top devs at Blizzard have a sweet spot for the mage. All 3 specs are shining, in both Raids and Mythic Plus. No matter what content you're into, having a mage on your team is always a strong choice. So you're sold on the mage, but now you're probably asking, which spec should I pick? Well, I've spent a lot of time playing all 3 mage specs, so let's break them down and find out which one fits you the best. Let's kick off with Fire, the king of mobility and burst. Fire mages have an incredible fast-paced rotation, and the best part, you can perform your entire rotation while moving. It's high tempo, high impact, and just plain fun. At first glance, it might seem a little basic. You're tossing fireballs and pyroblast into the boss and calling it a day, so you might think. But don't be fooled, there's a lot more going on under the hood. Fire has some hidden minigames that makes it really rewarding once you get the hang of it. The first minigame is managing your big cooldown, Combustion. When you pop it, you literally ignite yourself, supercharging your spells. Your goal? Get it back as fast as possible and combust on every pack. That leads to the second minigame, managing heating up and hot streaks to chain together pyroblast for big damage and cooldown reduction. Talents and hero talents add even more depth to the rotation. Sun Fury ramps up the explosive chaos with Phoenix Flames and Living Bomb. Frostfire mixes in icy effects and a fairy twist, giving you a hybrid playstyle that keeps things dynamic. If you like fast casting, explosive visuals, and press all the buttons and make things burn vibe, Fire is hot in every sense. Hello lovely people, great to have you with me. It's always good to know you there and watching my videos. My name is Brink and welcome back to my channel. Before we get into this video, please let me ask you if you would support this channel in a practical sense and part with a bit of gold. Price of a cup of coffee. Sign up and you will join my gnome work support group and you gain access to some exclusive videos. Let's get back to the video. Arcane. I call Arcane the chestmaster, because Arcane is a thinking person spec. You'll spend more time standing still than with Fire, but in return you get some of the hardest hitting spells in the game. The rotation starts simple, generating clear casting procs and spending nether precisions, but behind that is a very strategic layer where you need to manage buffs, time cooldowns and line everything up for those huge burst windows. It's all about planning ahead, picking your spot on the battlefield, lining up your spells, and then unleashing a massive arcane barrage or blast that feels incredibly satisfying when they land. Defensively, Arcane is well equipped with greater invisibility, ice block, alter time, mirror images, and prismatic barrier, making it one of the better specs for survival with good planning. If you want to add some extra spice, Spellslinger is the hero talent 3 for you. It shifts the playstyle to rapid fire casting, almost like you're hurling magic bullets non-stop. It completely transforms how Arcane feels. Arcane is for players who enjoy precision, control and a bit of risk versus reward gameplay. In the past, it was more about mana management and doing higher damage with a full mana bar, but now it's more about cooldown management. I'm not sure which one I like the most, but I can say Arcane isn't the easy spec of the 3, but it is rewarding when you know how to align the stars. And visually, you bring a lot of colors to the mix. If this sounds good to you, maybe Arcane is your cup of tea while playing chess. Last but definitely not least, you have Frost. Frost is often seen as the easiest of the 3 specs to pick up, but easy doesn't mean boring. In fact, Frost has one of the most satisfying control-focused playstyles in the game. And yes, in the past it was pretty simple in Mythic Plus. You would cast your frozen orbs in the pack and rain down blizzards non-stop. But now it's gotten more complicated and more depth. The core idea of Frost has always been simple. When enemies are frozen, they take bonus damage. This is still the case. But now, your job is to create more of those freeze windows and capitalize with heavy hitters like Glacial Spike and Comet Storm. Cooldown management is more forgiving than Fire or Arcane. You generally want to keep things rolling as often as possible without intense setup. Hero talents bring even more fun to Frost. Frostfire turns your standard Frostbolt into a flashier instant cast Frostfire Bolt that adds some serious visual flair and a hybrid feel. Frost is excellent for leveling, AoE mob farming and players who love slowing, freezing and then obliterating the enemies in style. And it can definitely still hold their own in Raids and Mythic Plus. If you like those Frost spells, you should just hear the sound of these Frost spells. It will make your blood freeze. It's really well done by Blizzard. No matter which spec you choose, Mage has one of the strongest class and spec identities in the entire game. From visuals to playstyle, it's dripping with personality and offers a great mix of fast-paced gameplay, mechanical depth and high fantasy flair. If you're looking for a class with amazing spell animations, deep mastery potential and clear magical identity, Mage might just be the one. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this range class summary, I've got some good news. I've got more coming your way. I'll be covering every range spec before the launch of Season 3 and hopefully it'll help you decide what to main. Remember, it's not all about good numbers, it's also about good fun. So good luck out there in Season 3, may your crits be huge and your raid wipes be someone else's fault. Catch you in the next one. Brink's out.